You probably clicked on this video because, like myself, you're asking the same question about poor Job. Why? Why did he have to suffer like so when he was good? He was a good servant. He took care of his family. He helped others, etc. He was a good servant of God, yet he suffered tremendously. Well, we will cover this today and maybe give our own takes on what we read from the Bible. I am Unique Thought. Welcome to Dubious Scriptures. And I do want to say again, this is video 2 of 10. There will possibly be more depending on what my viewers ask for. Again, there may be things you want me to touch on that I haven't, or maybe things that you just want to question yourself. And I'd love to do a video about those things. To start, of course, again, this video will be raw, uncut for the most part. Because it's more so about what we're discussing, the message or the questions, things of that nature, versus the amazing super video with all the pretty whatevers. So I'll start with my statement I'd like to share in respect to all. I do respect how meaningful the Bible is to so many, and I'm genuinely interested in a better understanding of it. This is an extremely touchy subject. So even though I don't intend to offend anyone, I'm sure that I unfortunately will, and I do apologize in advance. However, this is mainly for alternate understanding, better understanding, opinion, and inquiry. I prefer this to invite dialogue over debate. I strongly believe the Word, the Bible, has been changed to fit man's purposes. I'm not attacking anyone's beliefs. I am, however, challenging what's been presented, what has been presented. Apologies again in advance. So as I did previously, I will start with the King James Version, and then I will read from the New World Translations of the Holy Scriptures. And this is Job, book 1 and 2, chapters 1 and 2. I will start. Chapter 1 of Job. It says, there was a man in the land of Uz whose name was Job. And that man was perfect and upright and one that feared God and eschewed evil. And there were born to him 7 sons and 3 daughters. His substance also was 7,000 sheep and 3,000 camels, and 500 yoke of oxen and 500 asses, and a very great household, so that this man was the greatest of all men of the East. Now, and his sons went and feasted in their houses, every one his day, and sent and called for their sisters to eat, to drink with them. And it was so, when the days of their feasting were gone about, that Job sent and sanctified them, and rose up early in the morning, and offered burnt offerings according to the number of them all. And for Job said, it may be that my sons have sinned, and cursed God in their hearts. Thus did Job continually. Now, there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan came also among them. And the Lord said unto Satan, whence cometh you? Then Satan answered the Lord and said, from going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it. And the Lord said unto Satan, hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and upright man, one that feared God and eschewed evil? Then Satan answered the Lord and said, doth Job fear God for naught? Hast not thou made an hedge about him and about his home, and about all that he hath on every side. Thou hast blessed the work of his hands, and his substance is increased in the land. But put forth thine hand now, and touch all that he hath, and he will curse thee to my face. And the Lord said unto Satan, Behold, all that he hath is in thy power. Only upon himself put not forth thine hand. So Satan went forth from the presence of the Lord. And there was a day when his sons and his daughters were eating and drinking wine in their eldest brother's house. And there came a messenger unto Job and said, the oxen were plowing, and the asses feeding beside them. And the Sabins, please forgive me for any errors. Remember, this is just raw and uncut. They have slain the servants with the edge of the sword. And I only am to escape. And I only am escaped alone to tell thee. While he was yet speaking, there came also another and said, The fire of God is fallen from heaven, and hath burned up the sheep and the servants, and consumed them. And I only am escaped alone to tell thee. While he was yet speaking, there came also another and said, The Chaldeans made of 3 bands, and fell upon the camels, and have carried them away, and slain the servants with the edge of the sword. And I only am escaped alone to tell thee. While he was yet speaking, there came also another and said, Thy sons and thy daughters were eating and drinking wine in their eldest brother's house. And behold, there came a great wind from the wilderness, and smote the 4 corners of the house, and it fell upon the young men, and they are dead. And I alone escaped alone to tell thee. Then Job arose and rent his mantle, and shaved his head, and fell down upon the ground, and worshipped, and said, Naked came I out of my mother's womb, and naked shall I return thither. The Lord gave the Lord gave, and the Lord hath taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. In all this Job sinned not, nor charged God foolishly. Now, continuing in chapter 2. Again, there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan came along with them to present himself before the Lord. And the Lord said unto Satan, From whence cometh you? And Satan answered the Lord and said, From going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it. And the Lord said unto Satan, Hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and upright man, one that feareth God, and eschewed evil, and still he holdeth fast, his integrity, although thou mockest me against him, to destroy him without cause. Now, and Satan answered the Lord and said, Skin for skin. All that man hath will he give for his life. But put forth thine hand now, and touch his bone and his flesh, and he will curse thee to thine face. And the Lord said unto Satan, Behold, he is in thine hand, but save his life. So went Satan forth from the presence of the Lord, and smote Job with sore boils from the sole of his foot unto his crown. And he took him a potsherd to scrape himself withal, and he sat down among the ashes. Then said his wife unto him, Dost thou still retain thine integrity? Curse God and die. But he said unto her, Thou speakest as one of the foolish women speaketh. Again, I may be saying this incorrectly. What? Shall we receive good at the house of God, and shall we not receive evil? And all this did not Job sin with his lips. Now when Job's 3 friends heard of all this evil that has come upon him, they came, every one from his own place. Eliphaz the Temanite, and Bildad from Shuhite, and Zophar of the Naamathi, for they had made an appointment together to come to mourn with him and to comfort him. And when they lifted up their eyes afar off and knew him not, they lifted up their voice and wept, and they rent every one his mantle, and sprinkled dust upon their heads toward heaven. So they sat down with him upon the ground 7 days and 7 nights, and spake a word upon him, and spake a word upon him, for they saw that his grief was very great. So that was the King James Version, chapters 1 and 2.